Ezra Anderson here. Just going to do a quick video to show you my new formula of how I'm going to deal with a lot of monsters in my upcoming game, Dead Dark. If you go back and you look at any old videos or old builds, what I did then was I just used a small group or a small pool of monsters and I moved them around the world as needed. So if there was no monsters on the screen, it would detect that there's no monsters on the screen and it'd go through a list and it'd find the farthest away monster and it'd make it come closer to you so that it can attack you. This worked quite well for Android and iOS, and it made the world feel like it was populated with monsters, but there were some problems that I really didn't like that I was having issues with. Like, for instance, when I went into a room, I always tracked monsters from outside monsters, inside monsters. So it just became too awkward to always kind of track things. So what I want to do is use this new concept that I'm going to show you, and it allows me to use a whole lot of monsters in the world and track them a little bit differently so I don't have to go around and move the monsters. And it's just based simply off, a bucket system. Oops, I inverted that. So the world's divided up into all these buckets, and then the hero, which is the blue, I'm not sure if you can see that, is the 9 inner buckets, and if a monster enters one of those inner buckets, they become alive and they start attacking you. So you can kind of see that it works okay. Right now I have a terrible draw call because I'm showing so much. But let's say if you look at the white box, that's actually the viewport. So that's kind of what you'll be seeing on the screen, and then the other boxes are what's in range. And if you look in the top left corner, you can see the box step, which is in reason, and then the B loop, which I call the bucket loop, to track objects. And if you can see it, you'll see a flash. There it goes, of the update for all buckets outside of the 9 buckets closest to the hero. So that allows me to kind of track the objects in a different way if I do need to move them or I need to freeze them. Here I'm using box 2D. So when a monster is outside of the range, you just set it to inactive, and that takes the fixtures of the object out of the broad phase. So they become a non-issue inside the physics engine. So it does work well. I'm going to try to bring it into the game. Hopefully it continues to work well in that, and then obviously I'll have to still kind of track, because you don't want to go through and you can see there's 4,000 monsters. If you get all 4,000 monsters on the screen, I'm sure that's going to murder performance. So there still has to be some tricks for when monsters come at you to when they go away. But at least with this, now in the world map, I'll be able to go through and I'll be able to set the specific monsters to different locations. For instance, in the hospitals, there's a group of monsters for that, and in the church, there's a group of monsters for that, and in Buns and Grills, there's monsters for that, and in the military zone, there's monsters for that. So I don't have to always reuse other monsters. They'll actually all now have their physical memory space for that monster, and it will become active or inactive depending if it's close enough to the hero. So yeah, that's the new theory. I think it will work. I think it will work better than my old theory. And then there can just be a real simple game mode, which is kill all 5,000 monsters or whatever. So you can try to go through the map and play the rogue style and sneak up and try to eliminate monsters, as many monsters as you can. Okay, that's all I got to say about it. Thanks for watching, and hopefully someday this game will be available to the public to play. If you can see the whole world there. If you're interested actually about the world itself is currently 300 by 300, 32 by 32 tiles. So that would be 9,600 pixels wide and tall. And then I think that divides equally into 400 by 400. Each bucket would be 400 by 400, and that would be 59 buckets in total, something like that. Okay, yeah, anyways, great. Thanks for watching. I'll have another video for everybody soon.